person you've ever shared a cigar with?
Bill Clinton.
Probably George Lopez.
Okay.
Interesting. I start to say Avo, because his stories are just, they're really cool. I mean, we smoke all the time, and his stories are great.
Mr. Heinrich Vinegar.
I was gonna say the same thing.
By far, he's the coolest cat in the room at all times.
I think it was Mr. Fediger himself. I mean, that's also why I joined the company a couple of months ago. I really like the history that the company has, and Mr. Fediger, to survive in that business that long, needs innovation, needs best products, high quality products, and also some stamina that really can survive. And I think he impressed me quite a bit with that.
I think it will be Mr. Heinrich Vinegar.
Carlos Fuente Sr. Most interesting person.
Carlos Fuente Sr.
Carlos Fuente Jr.
Wow, inside the industry, Carlito Fuente, my mentor, my friends. Every time that I have the opportunity to smoke with him, we get a conversation about that cigar. It's like we have a human being between us.
My father.
A lot of interesting people. Dr. J, Charles Barkley. Actually, some of the most interesting people are just interesting people. I've just been sitting in a bar, sitting in a cigar shop, and had the greatest conversation in the world.
I got to be honest, Hamlet. Because when I first met the guy came from Cuba, I didn't know nothing about Cuban cigars. Sit down, a master blender, master roller. Incredible knowledge I learned from him.
Oh boy, that's a very, very tough question. Probably Mel Gibson.
My dad? Can I say that? I think he's obviously my hero, and he's gone through it. He was a police officer, so he'd talk about his stories, and he's someone I always look up to.
I will tell you the Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani was pretty interesting, I would say.
The most interesting person probably has to be Jose Oliva. I admire him with what he's created, and he's got tons of knowledge.
Oh man, that's interesting. My grandfather. I really, really enjoy his stories, man. Now that he's getting older, I'm giving him more time, and I start asking him questions about his childhood, and he just goes into depth of all this, his story and his life, that I just gotta pass on these stories. So really, my grandfather.
Most interesting person I've ever smoked with. I would probably say outside of the Espinosa guys, they're probably more funny than interesting. But I would probably say Carlito Fuente.
The most interesting person I've shared a cigar with, Lil Wayne.
Benji Menendez.
Actually, it's probably my cousin Carlos. My cousin Carlos. I love hearing about the family and the stories, and he is the treasure trove of stories. He's the link to me back to my father, who passed away when I was 13. So sitting with Carling and having a cigar and listening to his stories of back in the day and how they feared my father was pretty cool.
Hanky Kellner.
That I've smoked with, Caldwell.
Tom Reiner's father. Eduardo Fernando.
Most interesting guy. If I can pinpoint a memory of that moment, it was probably the first time I smoked a cigar with Avo. That just stands out as being it was the coolest moment. We smoked a lot of cigars since then, but that first moment was awesome.
Most interesting. Alejandro Robaina.
Oh.
What about you?
Me? I could say Hiroshi Robaina.
Oh my God, Ian, what's his last name? With a Z.
What does he do?
He's super cool. He's the guy from 90210.
Ian with a Z from 90210. Okay.
Trump, no question.
Undecided. Gary Johnson.
One household, we gotta agree.
Oh, that's a difficult question for a foreigner. I just hope that the Americans decide for the right one. I don't know each one. Basically, I'm for the Republican Party. I'm more on the liberal side, of course. But this time it's rather tough to decide for me.